Now on News 3, live at 3, Election Day, and a live look at lines, in some cases around the block. Control of the House and the Senate up for grabs, plus multiple other very important races. News 3 is live with coverage as voters go to the polls.
The verdict is in. An accused terrorist on trial for allegedly setting off a bomb in a New York City subway learns his fate. The jury's decision after a very long trial.
Falling housing costs. That's good news today for future homeowners in southern Nevada, the one thing driving down the prices in our valley.
News 3 starts right now.
It's Election Day in Nevada and across the country. Millions of people heading to the polls to either keep the status quo or perhaps make a big change. Thanks for joining us. I'm Latoya Silman.
I'm Reed Cowan. Nevada is a battleground state with a Senate seat, a House seat, and the governor's office all up for grabs. News 3's Max Darrow live at one of the many polling places open across the valley. Max, what have you seen there?
Well, good afternoon. Happy Election Day to you. We've seen a steady flow of people coming in and out of the Pearson Community Center here. People, many of them coming out with those I voted stickers. Now, this is just one of the many voting locations you will find here in Clark County. It's actually 172 different ones. As you can see right there, they'll be clearly marked with that Vote Here sign. Now, I want to go over some of the voting numbers so far today. Now, these numbers are current as of 11:15 this morning. 76,000 total voters in the state, nearly 55,000 of them coming from Clark County. Now, the early voting numbers, as you may have noticed earlier, we had an unprecedented amount of early voters this year, nearly 630,000 total early voters. But again, still a long day ahead, and those numbers were just from 11:15 this morning. We're still waiting on current updated numbers, and we've seen, again, such a steady flow of voters in and out of this building, and I'm sure that's the case at the 172 different polling locations in Clark County. Now back out here live, you'll see some people out there who are as close as possible to the polling center to show their support for various candidates, but then once you make it inside past that range, you will no longer see those supports. They're asking that hats, buttons, or any campaign insignias are removed as you head into the polls. But again, still got time. Polls are open until 7 o'clock tonight. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Max Darrow, thank you so much. Democratic candidate for Governor Steve Sisolak voted in Las Vegas today. He got in line along with his two daughters at Kenny Gwynn Middle School at around 7:30 this morning. Sisolak had an important message for those who are turning out to vote.
Guys, the nation are watching us. It's important. I know everybody wants to know what happens in Nevada, and I think the biggest thing is if we can turn out our voters and their voices be heard, that's just what I want to have happen.
All right, so according to the Nevada Secretary of State, more registered Democrats took advantage of early voting than Republicans. Now, as for our Republican friends, gubernatorial candidate Adam Laxalt voted in Reno this morning. He was joined by his family and called for a similar message to get out the vote. We'll stay on top of this race and others both later in this show and News 3 Live at 5.
Nevada isn't the only state with a lot at stake. Control of the U.S. House and Senate are up for grabs today as well, and Democrats need to pull off a few upsets to gain control. Republicans are hoping that the economy propels them to a greater majority. NBC's Blaine Alexander has the latest.
In what are typically known as off-year elections, this year, across the country, crowded precincts tell a different story.
The line has never been this long.
Oh my God, this is the election you have to vote for.
After hard-fought campaigns, candidates starting the day casting their own ballots.
Just get out and vote, make your voice heard.
From the tight governor's race in Florida,
I guess I can cast a vote for myself,
to the congressional contest in Northern Virginia, Republican Barbara Comstock fighting to keep her seat.
We feel great. We feel really energized.
Democrats looking for a net gain of 23 seats to control the House. In the Senate, 2 more seats. Driving voters, issues like health care, immigration, and jobs. But perhaps the biggest motivator, President Trump.
Was Trump a factor in your vote?
Absolutely.
The first national referendum on his time in office.
This election is going to be a very important tell as to which direction America wants to go.
At this precinct in Tennessee, a storm and power outage not enough to stop voters who cast their ballots in the dark.
The batteries work on the machines and you can see clear.
Many refusing to have their voices silenced in a race making history even before the votes are counted. And where is President Trump this evening? Well, he is at the White House. We're told that he has cleared his schedule to watch the results come in. At a voting precinct in Washington, D.C., I'm Blaine Alexander, NBC News.
As you can see, a lot of people behind her. Well, News 3 is your place to be for Decision 2018. We'll have live team coverage starting at 5, leading up to the polls closing at 7 o'clock. News 3 Live at 7 is extended until 8 for special election coverage beginning at 7:30. And we'll be live at 10 until 11 p.m. on the CW Las Vegas for the latest results.
Developing now, North Las Vegas police identify the 17-year-old suspect accused in the death of an 11-year-old girl last week. Aaron Hines, seen here, charged with open murder and conspiracy to commit murder. He was one of at least 2 people who got out of a car and started shooting at a home near Deer Springs and Lawrence. Those bullets hit and killed this girl, Angelina Erives. North Las Vegas police say the suspects targeted the wrong home. She was at her kitchen table with her family doing a science project. An armed neighbor heard the gunfire, came out and shot at the suspects. He hit one of them, a 19-year-old who died at the hospital. Hines is due in court tomorrow.
Mail bomb suspect Cesar Sayoc is being held without bond after making his first appearance in a New York federal courtroom today. Sayoc is accused of mailing at least 16 bombs to targets including CNN, Hillary Clinton, and former President Barack Obama. None of the explosives went off and no one was injured. If convicted, Sayoc could spend up to 48 years in prison. Sayoc's lawyer says his client plans to plead not guilty. A Bangladesh immigrant who set off a pipe bomb at a New York City subway station during rush hour is convicted of terror charges. Ayed Ullah faces life in prison. Prosecutors say he tried to kill as many people as possible when he set off the bomb on December 11th. No one died, but dozens of people were injured.
Our neighboring state of Utah in mourning today. The body of Major Brent Taylor, killed while serving in Afghanistan, is back in the United States and in Utah. Taylor killed by the Afghan National Security Forces just months before finishing his tour. The former North Ogden, Utah mayor and his family will be together once again. His wife speaking at the airport shortly after military officials brought his body back.
The price of freedom surely feels incredibly high to all those of us who know and love our individual soldier. But the value of freedom is immeasurable to all who know and love America.
Major Taylor posting on Facebook about the importance to vote, whether you're Republican, Independent, or Democrat. He is the 3rd U.S. soldier killed in Afghanistan this year.
The Nevada Department of Public Safety is out with a new website in hopes that it will help catch suspects who are on the run. The Nevada Most Wanted website features profiles and photos of people with active arrest warrants. Officials hope the public uses this website to send tips and information that could lead to an arrest. We've got all this information on our website, news3lv.com. New at 3, good news for first-time home buyers in Las Vegas. Once again, the roller coaster real estate market is quickly changing.
Home prices are dropping and inventory is going up. News 3's Kelsey Thomas live in downtown Las Vegas with a look at the latest numbers and what they mean for you. Kelsey.
Well, Reed, how about this? When the market hit its low 6 years ago, the average price for a home here in Las Vegas, $118,000. Today, $295,000. So although those home prices dipped in October, they are still on a climb from a year ago. Today, potential buyers should be encouraged, seeing more inventory available. While some fear the combo might mean we're on the verge of a bubble bursting, broker Brandy White Elk with Innovative Real Estate Strategies says the market is correcting itself and you should not be worried.
Our market here in Vegas is very cyclical. Okay, so we have corrections, we have, appreciation, we have depreciation, and what I can say is just find the house you love and focus on what your price point is. Focus on your cost of living. Focus on what a happy mortgage payment would be if you're getting a mortgage on a house. Whether a bubble's going to burst, nobody has that crystal ball, and some people say it's going to burst, and some of them say that we're going to continue to rise. But I don't really like talking into the bubble because I don't have that crystal ball, but I can tell you that right now in this moment, I feel it's an extraordinary opportunity for both buyers and sellers.
So most popular places to live in Las Vegas, Brandy tells me that Henderson and Summerlin still at the top of the list, and we are still seeing people come from out of state to move here to Las Vegas because they can get more for less. We'll look into that coming up on News 3 Live at 6. Reporting live near downtown Las Vegas, Kelsey Thomas, News 3.
Kelsey, thank you. We want to direct our viewers to our website, news3lv.com, where a special report on out-of-state buyers by Kelsey is posted. You can find that there. Now let's talk about the Vegas Golden Knights. One of the many reasons a lot of people are wanting to move to our valley. They are on the ice for a big game tonight. The team taking on Toronto on the road. Puck drop is about an hour away. Coach Gerard Gallant says that he expects forward Max Pacioretty to play the first time in 2 weeks. He scored 19 goals in his career against Toronto, the most he's scored against any team.
Up next, a disturbing scene in London. A group of people making fun of one of the deadliest fires in England's history. The response tonight from survivors ahead. Plus, nuts are known to be healthy for you, but now researchers discovered a new benefit for those looking to lose a little weight. Chloe?
Pretty nice outside today. Look at that, with temperatures at 76 degrees right now. But after this, our numbers will start to tumble. Our next storm moving in later this week. I'll tell you what day to expect it and how long it will last straight ahead.
Welcome back. Decision 2018, and millions of Americans continue to head to voting centers to cast their ballots. And of course, polls sometimes give us insight as to which party may have the early advantage.
That's right. And Scott Rasmussen's polling group at scottrasmussen.com surveys 1,000 voters a night, and he joins us live with his polling insight. A lot of people looking at these numbers closely. And I got to say, you look at some of these polls and you think, wow, that's a nail biter.
There's an awful lot of them. Obviously, a couple of races in your state, very close. There are 6 Senate races across the country that I wouldn't be surprised if either candidate wins. Obviously in Nevada with Dean Heller, and you've got the Arizona Senate races, a toss-up. You've got races in Indiana, Missouri, Florida, and even Montana, where it wouldn't shock me if there's a little bit of an upset there. When you put it all together, though, and you look at the numbers in the aggregate, it is more likely the Republicans will probably gain seats in the Senate. We just don't know how many. The situation much different in the House. In the House, there are 34 toss-up races, but it looks like the Democrats only need to win 10 of them to win control of the House.
And really, that's what it's about, the balance of power. And a lot of people saying that they're turning out hoping to put a check on what has been a dominant sort of red wave in the last election cycle. What are you gathering from your early polling about what actually drove people to the polls?
Well, when we ask them about the most important issues, health care and the economy come out on top. And voters tend to trust Democrats on health care, Republicans on the economy. In the Southwest and along other parts of the border, immigration is a little bit of an issue. But if you look a little bit deeper, the big issue is Donald Trump. Most voters say he's at least a part of their voting decision. And there are many, about 1 out of 5 voters say they're an active member of the resistance to Donald Trump. There are also people who say they want to cast their votes to be supportive of him. And that really is the dividing line in this election.
Well, here in Nevada, Scott, we saw that Democrats tend to be the ones who voted early in this election when it came to early voting. What are you seeing nationally? Who seems to be the ones getting the turnout?
Well, it depends a little bit state by state. Republicans doing a little better in most states than they are in Nevada in terms of early turnout. But you know, the big story here is we've never seen anything like this. We've never seen an election where you had 36 million people show up and vote early for a midterm. So there's a lot of questions. Does that mean that these people were showing up early to vote who wouldn't normally vote? Or is it just it's more convenient, so they're voting earlier and we're going to have lower turnout on Election Day? Hard to evaluate what this looks like until we have a little more experience. But America has been voting earlier and earlier in each of the last several elections, and it's fundamentally changing campaigns.
Something tells me you have a large cup of coffee just off screen and that it's going to be a long day for you, Scott. ScottRasmussen.com.
You've got that
Thank you
right.
for joining us live here in Nevada, where we are a battleground state and the numbers definitely matter. We appreciate you so much. Let's move on to some other news now. 5 men arrested over a video of them burning a cardboard model of a place called Greenfield Tower. If that sounds familiar to you, that's the London apartment tower where 72 people died in a massive fire that made international news last year. The video sparked outrage after it was shown on social media. That's the cardboard cutout there. Survivors of the 2017 fire expressed disgust at the video. The men are charged with intentionally causing distress.
An Australian man killed in a shark attack on the Great Barrier Reef, and it's the third deadly attack in just the past 2 months. The victim was among 10 friends who rented a yacht. Police say he dove into the water and the shark attacked moments later. First responders say the uptick in danger is something they cannot explain.
Yeah, a bit of deja vu. I mean, it's never a nice thing to go to. It's definitely harder, this one. Hits home a lot more when you can't go home to your family and tell them that they've saved another life. But yeah, it's hard work.
Police are patrolling the harbor today, advising tourists to stay out of the water.
Well, it is a weight control conundrum. Nuts have a lot of fat and calories, but eating them actually may help keep off extra pounds. How does that work? Well, ask the good folks at Harvard. A study there found eating a handful of nuts every day was associated with less weight gain over about a 4-year period. The key was substituting nuts for less healthy snacks, like the potato chips and all of that. About an ounce of nuts as a substitute qualifies as a serving every day.
Having high blood pressure when you're younger could be a sign of more serious health issues to come. Researchers took the blood pressure of 5,000 adults before their 40th birthday. They were then monitored for 20 years. Those who had high blood pressure were at a higher risk of suffering from heart disease and strokes when they were older. The new guidelines say the range for normal blood pressure is 120/80 or lower.
All right, time now for a check of our Election Day forecast. News 3 is your weather authority. If you are going outside to wait in line, they say as long as you're in line before the polls close, to stay in line, and you should have some really good weather while you wait. Chloe.
Yeah, so no excuses.
Yeah, everyone get out there, stand in line and make friends. Well, actually, I don't know. Are you allowed to talk to people?
Yeah,
for sure. Make a friend.
It's going to be nice. You can talk about how nice the weather is. That's not something that's too controversial around here, right? Especially when it looks like this outside. Look at that. Gosh, almost looks like a picture, but nope, that's a live look in Las Vegas. Beautiful blue skies and also clear in the air quality category. Like I said, nice afternoon. Quiet on Lake Mead today. That changes later this week. Also pretty nice up at Mount Charleston. Look at that. Lots of sunshine this afternoon. Ditto for the Las Vegas Valley. Wall-to-wall sunshine this afternoon and temperatures above normal for today. That trend continues for tomorrow, and then after that, we're going to see cooler weather around here. Right now we're at 71 degrees over in Summerlin. Currently at 78 degrees on the north end of town and 77 degrees over in Henderson. Calm today. Like I said, changes on the horizon though. The rest of the numbers outside, 81 degrees in southeast, 76 degrees for our friends in Green Valley, 76 for the downtown area, mid 70s at 74 degrees right now at the lakes. Overall, pretty nice weather outside. Again, no reason not to go outside. Look at that. Winds in the single digit category. Feels good out there and outside the valley. Upper 40s on the mountain. That's where you'll need the jacket. 78 degrees in Pahrump, upper 70s for the Lake Mead area, and 73 degrees in Boulder City. If you're out and about in Las Vegas tonight, this is what the weather is going to look like this evening. Clear skies, temperatures hovering in the 60s for the next several hours, but it will be calm outside at least. Certainly a different picture for our friends in the Midwest with this active weather stretching all the way out to the northeast. Very cold temperatures expected there. Across the southwest, we are dry and the sunny skies will continue for tomorrow. But we are expecting changes as we get closer to the middle of the work week, or towards the end of the work week. On Thursday, we have a cold front that will be pushing through, so gusty winds and cooler temperatures are on the horizon, my friends. For tonight, we will be a little bit cooler overnight tonight compared to this morning when you woke up. Clear with lows in the low 50s in the valley. Edges of town will be a little bit chillier. We'll be at 33 degrees above the freezing mark on the mountain. 48 degrees for Overton, in the 50s for Boulder City at 50, 55 at the lake, 41 degrees for Pahrump, with high temperatures tomorrow, maybe a couple degrees lower than today, but still above normal for this time of year, so very unfall-like. Enjoy tomorrow. Might be your favorite day of this work week. We're going to hit 74 degrees for the high temperature. Normally we're in the low 70s this time of year. Calm winds tomorrow. Different picture into Thursday with gusty winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Expecting those gusts to be over 30 miles an hour. And look at this temperature drop. Mid 70s tomorrow to the mid and upper 60s Thursday and Friday. That's what happens when a cold front passes. Breezy weather lingering into Friday. After that, we slowly start to warm up over the weekend with high temperatures flirting with the 70s on Veterans Day. And looks like we'll make it there on Tuesday.
All right. Looks pretty good. Thank you so much, Chloe.
Well, the late Queen of Soul to be honored in an upcoming documentary.
What it shows that very few people have ever seen.
Good afternoon, I'm Dana Wagner. Here's what's buzzing today, Las Vegas. The actor Idris Elba declared the sexiest man alive on the cover of People magazine.
Thank you so much, People magazine, for making me sexiest man in the world. You know what I'm saying? Loving that. It's an honor. My mom is going to be very, very proud. So thank you to you guys.
Idris tweeted out the picture of the cover of the magazine, talking about it with Jimmy Fallon just hours ago, right here on Channel 3. Delta Airlines apologizing after a man from Michigan says he sat in dog poop during a flight. His name, Matthew Meehan, says he and another passenger quickly realized what had happened after boarding. When they went to clean off, they claim a flight attendant offered them 2 paper towels and a small bottle of gin to clean it off. He says he was forced to lay a blanket over the mess and endure the smell for the entire 2-hour flight. And is that Forrest Gump? Nope, it's just a guy named Pete running all the way from his home in Alaska to Florida. 5,400 miles in all, pushing a baby stroller. No baby inside, just food, water, and other supplies. 31-year-old says he made the trek, hoping to become the first person to complete a self-supported run from Alaska to Florida. And if you're wondering what that is, he's celebrated by sprinkling a little Pacific Ocean water from where he started into the Atlantic Ocean where he ended. And that's what's buzzing today, Las Vegas. Back to you on this election day.
Yeah, he deserves a celebration.
Yes, he does. Well, after nearly a half a century, a documentary featuring performances by the late Queen and Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, is finally being released.
Yeah, that film, titled Amazing Grace, will debut at the Doc NYC Festival in New York. The documentary shows her gospel performances over 2 days at the New Temple Missionary Baptist Church in Los Angeles back in 1972. Franklin's estate and the film's producer reached an agreement to release the documentary.
Well, separating fact from fiction, labels on food sometimes can be rather confusing.
Yeah, you're going to hear from a USDA official about those use-by dates and when it's best to actually throw out your food. Election day, your chance to make your voice heard and vote count. A live report on voter turnout in southern Nevada in moments.
There is a significant blind zone in front of our vehicles.
Road dangers. Technology today focuses on letting drivers see what's behind them, but there's another blind spot that some parents say needs just as much attention.
You are so offensive. You need to.
No, I'm not offensive.
Criticizing patients, a doctor in hot water for the way he treated one of his patients, what he reportedly said that's sparking a lot of reaction on social media.
News 3 starts right now.
All right, here in our state, in 3.5 hours, the polls close and results will start coming in. We'll get a sense of what the voice of the nation is, at least here in Nevada. Hundreds of thousands of us casting ballots to make a big series of decisions.
Yeah, News 3's Max Darrow is live at one of those polling locations. And Max, we do see a steady stream of people behind you. What's it been like out there?
Well, this room right behind me is where people are casting their ballots as we speak. Take a look. We're at the Pearson Community Center here, just near MLK and Lake Mead. And so far, these numbers coming from the Secretary of State's office, 93,271 total voters in our state on Election Day. Now, these numbers just came in about 10 minutes ago at 3:20 this afternoon. Now, remember, early voting numbers were very high this year, nearly 630,000 total early voters. And right here is just one of the 172 different polling centers throughout Clark County where people are casting their votes. And we got the chance to catch up with one voter as she was walking out this afternoon who shared with us the importance of voting.
Just go out and this is your opportunity. You are a member of the United States. You belong to the United States. Vote. Take the time to do it. It's worthwhile. It's our voice. We need to be heard.
And again, back out here live now at one of the 172 polling centers here in Clark County. If you still haven't made it to the polls just yet, that's okay. The polls don't close until 7 o'clock. If you still are looking to learn a couple last-minute details about some of the candidates or ballot measures, we have so much information on our website, News 3 LV, that will be able to maybe make a couple things more clear for you if you're a little bit confused. A couple of great explainers there on news3lv.com. Again, polls close at 7 o'clock tonight, and then soon after that, we'll start to see some of those results come in. Reporting live, Max Darrow, News 3.
Yeah, fingers crossed we'll start to see some of those come in right away. Thank you so much, Max.
One thing everybody will be happy to see, and of course, fill in the blank, the ads. You're seeing ads in your mailbox, on your phone, everywhere. If you thought you saw more than usual this time around, you are absolutely right.
Yeah, that's because this election is one of the most expensive midterms in history. And national correspondent Michelle Macaluso breaks down all of the spending.
In a high-stakes election, campaign cash poured into political ads across the country. Now I'm deployed to D.C. to fight for Arizona.
Because it's all about West Virginia.
I'm Claire McCaskill, and I approve this message.
I'm Marsha Blackburn, and I approve this message.
About $5 billion will be spent on campaign ads this midterm election, the most ever, according to the Center for Responsive Politics, which tracks campaign spending. Democrats raised over $1.3 billion from individual donors, while Republicans raised just under $1 billion. And the biggest spenders? Super PACs.
The people of Texas want to come together and...
The most expensive Senate race in history is Texas, between Democrat Beto O'Rourke and Republican Senator Ted Cruz. Fundraising topped $100 million. As campaign ads invade TV screens, more are popping up on phones via social media and text messages. Digital ad spending will grow by about $900 million, according to Kantar Media. Well, if you're sick of seeing all these political ads, you might get some relief after the polls close. But the 2020 presidential election is right around the corner, which will surely exceed any type of spending seen in the midterms. On Capitol Hill, I'm Michelle Macaluso.
All right, News 3 is your place to be for Decision 2018. We'll have live team coverage starting at 5, leading up to the polls closing at 7. News 3 Live at 7 is extended until 8 for special election coverage beginning at 7:30, and we'll be live at 10 until 11 p.m. on the CW Las Vegas for the latest results.
North Korea is talking tough once again. One official says the country could start building up its nuclear capability again if the U.S. does not ease economic sanctions. There's a warning that came days before Secretary of State Mike Pompeo planned to sit down with the North Korean counterpart in New York. Leader Kim Jong-un claims North Korea dismantled a missile launch facility, but U.S. intelligence maintains the nuclear program is still going strong.
Twitter takes action to stop the spread of terrorism on social media, and we've got that story and more from the Terrorism Alert Desk.
From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis. Twitter suspended more than 1 million accounts on Tuesday for promoting terrorism. That announcement was made at a counterterrorism meeting in Indonesia. The terror activity took place between August 2015 and the end of 2017. Indonesia is believed to have the 5th highest number of Twitter users in the world. United Nations investigators say that they found more than 200 mass graves in Iraq from the time of ISIS's 3-year reign. Between 6,000 and 12,000 bodies are believed to be in all the graves, which are all across northern Iraq. And a man accused of plotting to target Muslims in a British terror attack appeared in court on Tuesday. Police say 40-year-old Stephen Bishop had handwritten notes that allegedly explained how to construct explosives. From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis.
Firefighters in the southern France area say that they've found a second body in the ruins of 2 buildings that collapsed there. Several people remain missing right now. It's not immediately clear why the 2 buildings, one of which housed apartments, collapsed on Monday. Fire crews later brought down a 3rd building that they feared could fall over all of them.
A Washington state father lunges in court at the man accused of killing his 5-year-old granddaughter. Much emotional pain in that courtroom. Peter Anderson tried to reach Ryan Burge. Deputies quickly stopped and took him away. According to our Sinclair sister station, police say Burge was watching 5-year-old Hartley Anderson Friday. Medics were called at around 5 and found a little girl unconscious and bleeding badly. She later died of her injuries. Burge is being held on $5 million bail.
Wow, just unimaginable. Yeah. Well, a California woman angry at a doctor after she says he berated her mother for not speaking English.
Corrine Winter has video of the confrontation and information on other patients who say they have had similar experiences.
You are so offensive. You need to...
No, I'm not offensive.
You don't need...
A Thursday afternoon doctor's visit inside San Bernardino's Pulse Cardiology captured an unusual confrontation, a heated argument between a doctor and his patient's family.
I was shocked.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Yusette Galora and her daughter accompanied Galora's 67-year-old mother, Maria Ramirez, to her heart appointment. She said she never imagined what would happen next after her mom greeted that physician, Paul Ryan.
As soon as the doctor walked in the room, she asked him if he spoke Spanish, and that was all it took for him to snap and start insulting her about speaking Spanish and being in this country and not knowing his language. You don't need to do nothing but to tell me what's wrong with her. If she's okay, if she's not, then I'll translate to my mother. You don't need to tell me that she needs to learn English.
Galora's daughter recorded the incident on her cell phone and posted the video on Facebook, generating numerous comments and criticism by other people, claiming similar experiences with the doctor. We also found several negative Yelp reviews that detailed more allegations of Ryan's racism toward Mexicans. Galora, along with her mother and other relatives, protested outside Ryan's clinic today, hoping to warn other patients about his alleged treatment of Latinos. She said her mother, who saw Ryan for the first time last Thursday on a doctor's referral, still hasn't received the results from her heart test, adding, for the record, she's a U.S. citizen.
I want to unmask the doctor. If you don't like being around Mexicans, Latinos, Hispanic, or any other race other than what your race is, then you have no room in the medical field. Communicate through me and I'll let her know.
It's not the same.
Well, they may want to get a second opinion. One 11-year-old leads Cleveland police on a high-speed chase after stealing his mother's car.
Pulling away from me, I'm doing 75.
Police say this is the same child who led police on a chase twice last year. Eventually, officers stopped the chase and the boy crashes into a parked car. He was taken to a hospital and released. Police say he'll face felony charges in juvenile court.
Growing concern by parents about the dangers of blind zones inside of vehicles. Does your car or SUV have one? Not the one in your vehicle, but one in front of it. The bigger the vehicle, the bigger the blind zone outside. Our Sinclair sister station in Baltimore conducted tests using large SUVs. They found those blind zones stretched as far as 8 feet in front of a driver. So if there's something small, like a child, directly in front of a vehicle, there's a high chance the driver does not see the child.
There is a significant blind zone in front of our vehicles. We think once we get in and we're ready to go, we can see everything.
For now, experts advise drivers to do this. Walk around your vehicle before you start them, no matter if it's your own property or somebody else's, just to make sure nothing is in the way.
A Milwaukee woman says hackers use Facebook to gain access to her bank account. Rachel Rivera says the trouble started back in October. Her friends told her hackers got into her account and sent strange links. The next day, $1,600 was taken out of her account. Rivera says that she didn't put any of the bank information on Facebook and has no idea how hackers got her information.
My Facebook just has Rachel Rivera and my birthday. It doesn't say the school, it doesn't say anything background about me.
Wow. Well, Facebook says users should never accept suspicious requests. They are working with federal officials on this investigation.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture is clearing up questions surrounding expiration dates on food. Our Sinclair sister station spoke to Jeff Canavan, the Deputy Director of Labeling for the USDA. He says sell-by dates are meant for the store and use-by dates are meant for you at home. Canavan says some foods may be good even after that use-by date, but they're just not the best quality. Your best bet to tell if expired food is bad is to use your nose.
And the food spoilage bacteria, would cause the foods to deteriorate. You get an unpleasant odor. It may have a sliminess on the product itself.
You may start seeing fewer labels. Last year, grocery companies announced plans to reduce the number of labels, limiting them to just used by or best by.
Up next, twin sisters that do everything together can now add something else to their list.
Yeah, they're now moms. Incredible family moment for two sisters who gave birth on the exact same day.
In life, I think you're given gifts, and I think it's up to you to do good with those gifts.
A Texas family with quite the surprise after returning from a weekend away. What a bunch of volunteers did to make a child's dream come true.
Still beautiful weather outside, 76 degrees right now with the numbers trending downwards over the next few hours. More on that coming up.
Welcome back. Happy Election Day. Now for the good stuff, where we shine a light on people doing amazing things in our world.
A Texas family gets a big surprise after returning home from a weekend trip. As TJ Parker reports, a home makeover team turned their son's room into a superhero hideout.
Whoa. The look says it all. 8-year-old Will Byers seeing his new room, his family overjoyed.
I don't know if you can really put into words to see everything that everyone's accomplished while we've been gone for a weekend.
The family was sent on a trip to New York. Once they got back to Houston, they were met with a police escort before the big reveal. It's a small gesture, but for the Byers family, it means everything.
Being able to have a fresh new start for him, as well as something that, like Valerie said, is good for him, really just means the world to us.
Will has a rare genetic disorder called Sanfilippo syndrome. He has no control over his strength. Doctors call it childhood Alzheimer's.
He's considered midlife and he's 8 years old. There is no treatment and no cure at all, which is just devastating.
Together, Global Shop Solutions and Sunshine Spaces transformed his room.
It's such a great Christian family, and you know, Will's a very special boy, and anytime that we can do something to make the smallest of change in someone's lives, we want to do that.
Even Will's little sister, Sam's room, got a makeover.
Her dream room was a camping room.
Also a renovated bathroom. All of this to make it more accommodating for Will and the family.
In life, I think you're given gifts, and I think it's up to you to do good with those gifts, and this is our gift.
For the Byers, they couldn't be more grateful.
We learn to live in the moment and just be grateful for what we have, and we're so grateful for all the family and friends that support us during this journey with Sanfilippo syndrome.
Our most earnest prayer is that when we leave, on the not so good days, this room is nothing but love.
Yeah, super cute. A pair of identical twins in California proved that they truly are inseparable after giving birth to baby girls on the same day. Julie and Julia Yang delivered their babies just 1 hour apart at a hospital in Fresno. They found out they were pregnant at the same time too, and say it's a dream come true to have daughters together with the same birthday.
Like, I started spotting, so I think I knew that I was gonna be in labor. And then I told her, and then she was like, I'm having pain here and there too. I might be in there with you too.
We'll talk about being in sync. The Yang sisters say their twin bond could land them in the delivery room at the same time again, perhaps in the future.
Hey, make sure when you hear of a good, uplifting story that fills up your heart and soul to join the conversation on Facebook, like our page, and that'll let us know about the good things going on in our world. All you have to do is search for KSNV News 3 Las Vegas.
All right, time now for a check of the forecast. Of course, News 3, your weather authority, and it's a good day to stand in line, Chloe.
I know. I've seen a lot of people doing it. You wave to those who decided to procrastinate. But at least it's nice outside. Other parts of the country, I know in the South, had some voting locations shut down because of power outages. So we're not in Tennessee, thankfully. It's nice outside. Here, look at that. Nevada looking good today. Lots of sunshine this afternoon. Beautiful conditions. And look at that, 72 degrees for the Inspirada Overlook. Other locations we're going to take a look at. 75 degrees over in Henderson. Also in the mid-70s for our neighbors in Spring Valley. The rest of the numbers outside, a nice mixture of mostly mid-70s around town right now. And the winds also fairly calm outside. Look at that. A lot of, what is it, donuts or goose eggs? Same thing, right? Either way, it's calm outside right now. 47 degrees on the mountain, 79 in Overton, and 77 degrees in Pahrump, in the upper 70s at the lake, and 72 degrees for Boulder City at the moment. Stormy, like I talked about, in the Midwest and parts of the eastern United States, and also some active weather in the south. Earlier this week for us across the southwest, it has been calm, it has been sunny, and temperatures have been well above normal for the past few days, and we're actually going to see that all start to change later this week. Cold front moving through out of the north will bring us gusty winds and a big cool down on the horizon later this week. Tonight, we're going to feel a little bit cooler temperatures overnight tonight compared to last night, with lows in the low 50s in Las Vegas. Edges of town will be a handful of degrees colder than this number right here. Normally, we're supposed to be right around the 50-degree threshold for the overnight low. 48 degrees for Overton, a degree above the freezing mark on the mountain, 50 degrees in Boulder City, and 41 degrees for Pahrump. High temperatures for tomorrow will still be above normal for this time of year. Not as toasty as today, and I'm saying toasty because our temperatures are still well above where they should be. Low 60s on tap for the mountain, 76 degrees for Pahrump. Will also be in the mid 70s for Sandy Valley as well as Primm. Low 70s expected for the Boulder City area and a high right around 76 degrees for the Lake Mead area. Waking up tomorrow in Las Vegas, it's going to be very sunny. We will be off to a cool start, though. I mentioned temperatures dropping a little bit more overnight tonight compared to last night. So clear skies as you wake up tomorrow, 71 degrees as you're grabbing lunch tomorrow in Las Vegas. We'll hit a high of 74. Again, above normal for this time of year. But it starts to change as our next weather maker rolls in. That will bring us to gusty winds on Thursday, roughly 15 to 25 miles an hour with gusts over 30 on that day. And those winds will linger into Friday. Look what happens to our high temperatures, mid to upper 60s Thursday and Friday. We're expecting a very gradual warm up over the weekend and into Veterans Day, which many people have the day off on Monday. It's officially on Sunday, but temperatures trending upward and we'll make it to about 70 degrees on Tuesday.
Pretty cool. All right. Thanks so much, Chloe.
You know, one of the age-old questions in our world is, why did the chicken cross the road?
Now replace chicken with salmon. The answer, according to a fish expert, after the break. Time now for a look at what's ahead on News 3 Live at 5. A local community on edge after seeing these pictures of a man caught trying to break into houses. At 5, what police are doing to catch him before someone gets hurt.
Plus, News 3 monitoring the vote as Southern Nevadans head to the polls in this midterm election. At 5, a look at how the vote shapes up across our nation.
Finally today, a group of salmon caught on camera swimming across a road in Washington state. Alexis Leonard, a fish specialist, spotted more than a dozen salmon trekking the flooded street.
According to Leonard, this is not an unusual sight in Washington. She says salmon tend to go for long swims when it is time to give birth. Use that image as inspiration. Get out to the polls. I don't care how long the lines are or what the weather is. Make it across the street and cast your vote.
Exactly. And if you're in Southern Nevada, no excuses, because Chloe already told you.
I was going to say,
great.
The weather's going to be nice.
That's a new hashtag. Chloe told you.
Chloe told you.
Listen to me.
Happy Election Day.
We'll see you at 5.